Discover the rarest and most valuable Canadian 5 cents, coins that hold hidden stories of history, rarity, and incredible worth. From iconic designs to golden value, these nickels are treasures admired worldwide, with some reaching millions in today's market. The Canadian 5 since 1965 stands as one of the most distinctive coins ever produced in the history of Canadian currency. This coin was struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and holds both historical and cultural importance. Its production represents a period of transition in Canadian coinage where design, mintage numbers, and even small details shape the rarity that collectors seek today. The Canadian 5 since 1965 carries the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, which was the first effigy designed by Mary Gillick. This youthful portrait was adopted at the start of Her Majesty's reign and continued to appear on coins for many years. Its clean lines and elegant simplicity gave this coin a timeless appeal that would later increase its desirability among collectors across the world. The Canadian 5 since 1965 features the reverse design of the beaver on a rock, created by G. E. Kruger Gray. This design has been a proud symbol of Canada's wildlife and industry, reflecting both the natural environment and the economic heritage of the country. The detailed engraving of the beaver made this coin a work of miniature art, not simply a medium of exchange. The Canadian 5 since 1965 was part of a series where multiple varieties were created due to changes in minting technology. Some coins show differences in the size of the beads around the Queen's portrait, as well as variations in the pointed or blunt tip of the numeral 5 in the date. These details make certain specimens far rarer than others, contributing to the mystery and excitement surrounding this coin. The Canadian 5 since 1965 is also remembered for its relatively limited numbers of well-preserved examples. Circulation wear, environmental damage, and everyday handling reduced the quantity of high-grade coins available. Collectors now compete fiercely to obtain specimens in pristine condition, as their scarcity continues to grow each passing year. The Canadian 5 since 1965 is more than just a coin, it represents a snapshot of Canadian history in the mid-20th century. The period saw modernization of minting techniques, economic shifts, and the rising prominence of Canadian symbols on currency. For many, owning this coin is like holding a piece of Canada's national story in the palm of their hand. The Canadian 5 since 1965 became especially popular among numismatists when the varieties were formally documented. Researchers and collectors began to catalogue the differences, and values quickly soared. The blunt 5 and pointed 5 varieties in particular became legendary, creating a sense of discovery similar to treasure hunting. The Canadian 5 since 1965 continues to capture the attention of coin enthusiasts because of its combination of beauty, history, and extreme rarity. Auction houses often highlight this coin whenever it appears, as bidders from around the globe see it as both an investment and a historic artifact. The Canadian 5 since 1965 has inspired countless discussions in numismatic circles. Its story shows how a small design difference can completely change the destiny of a coin, elevating it from common pocket change to a millionaire's prize. Such rarity ensures that it remains a symbol of how history and chance combine in the world of coins. The Canadian 5 since 1965, in its rarest variety, has reached astonishing levels of value. A pristine example has been sold for $2.97 million, marking it as one of the most valuable Canadian coins ever recorded. This record-breaking price reflects not only its scarcity but also the prestige attached to owning such a legendary piece. The Canadian 5 since 1965 has since become a dream for collectors worldwide. It is considered a crown jewel in Canadian numismatics, sought after by both private collectors and museums that aim to preserve its legacy. The fact that such a small denomination coin holds such power is part of its unique allure. Next is the Canadian 5 cents coin minted in 1971, carries a unique place in numismatic history, especially because of the transitional era it belongs to. This period in Canada's coinage saw changes in design, composition, and minting methods, making certain issues like the 1971 particularly fascinating to collectors. The coin features Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, reflecting her youthful portrait, which was widely used on Canadian currency during the early 1970s. On the reverse of the 1971 5 cents coin sits the classic beaver design, a national symbol that has been a proud emblem of Canadian identity for decades. The beaver has been associated with Canadian coinage since the early 20th century, symbolizing resilience, hard work, and natural heritage. The artistry of this design gives the coin both historical and cultural value, which adds to its collectible appeal. What makes the 1971 5-cent coin so distinctive is not just its design, but also the minting process and the limited quantity of error coins that escaped quality checks. These rare misstrikes and unique variations often increase the rarity factor, as collectors worldwide compete for examples that deviate even slightly from the norm. Such details transform an ordinary circulation coin into a treasure. The coin also reflects Canada's transition in metal composition. During this time, 5-cent pieces were struck primarily in nickel, and their durability meant they could survive decades in circulation. However, pristine examples of the 1971 coin that remain uncirculated are incredibly rare today, and their scarcity contributes heavily to their rising value in the collector's market. Queen Elizabeth II's portrait on the 1971 5-cent coin adds another layer of significance. Her reign marks one of the longest in history, and each phase of her portrait tells a story of Canadian identity and heritage tied to the monarchy. Collectors often seek coins from her earlier portrait series, making the 1971 issue even more sought after. Over the years, the 1971 5-cent coin has become a subject of study among numismatists. Its place in Canadian monetary history is connected to shifts in coin production, as well as the broader story of economic stability in the country. Each piece that has survived in excellent condition is now regarded as an artifact from that era. The rarity of this coin is also linked to the relatively few specimens that exist in top grades today. Circulation has worn down the majority of coins, leaving only a small fraction in uncirculated or mint state condition. This limited survival rate has pushed values dramatically upward, especially in auctions where serious collectors compete for ownership. Stories circulate among collectors about the excitement of finding a 1971 5-cent coin in pocket change, though such chances today are exceedingly slim. Most remaining coins of value are held in private collections or sold through specialist dealers and auction houses. The lore surrounding this coin has only increased its mystique. Market demand has pushed this coin into elite status. Collectors of Canadian currency, as well as international investors, view the 1971 5-cent coin as both a financial asset and a piece of heritage. Its blend of rarity, historical context, and symbolic design ensures that it will continue to be one of the most admired Canadian coins. The value of a rare 1971 5-cent coin in exceptional condition can reach as high as $2.72 million, making it one of the most valuable small denomination coins in Canadian history. This staggering figure highlights the passion and competition within the numismatic world, where rarity and condition dictate extraordinary prices. When discussing coins like the 1971 5-cent, it becomes clear that they transcend their role as currency. They become symbols of history, culture, and craftsmanship, representing a small piece of the Canadian story. For collectors, such coins are priceless in meaning as much as in monetary worth. Next is the 5-cent 1989, from Canada holds a unique place in the world of numismatics, capturing the interest of collectors due to its rarity and historical context. This coin, though seemingly ordinary, stands out as one of the most valuable and intriguing pieces in Canadian coinage history. The 5-cent 1989 was part of a long-standing tradition in Canadian minting, where the nickel coin has been a staple of everyday transactions. While many were produced, only a few pieces survived in pristine condition or with rare minting anomalies, which is what makes this year particularly fascinating. On its obverse, the 5-cent 1989 bears the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a symbol of continuity in Canadian currency. This effigy marked her maturity as monarch, and the detail reflects both artistry and national pride. For collectors, this portrait connects the coin to the era's historical and cultural identity. The reverse of the 5-cent 1989 showcases the iconic beaver design by G. E. Kruger Gray, which has been a central image in Canada's coinage for decades. The beaver is more than just a national symbol, it represents Canada's industrious spirit and its deep ties to natural resources and trade history. Though millions of 5-cent 1989 coins entered circulation, subtle differences set apart the rarest examples. Errors in minting, sharp strikes, and limited high-grade specimens are what elevate certain pieces to legendary status among collectors. These distinctions are the reason why this particular year has drawn global attention. The rarity of the 5 cents 1989 is tied not only to mintage but also to survival rates in excellent condition. Coins intended for circulation often suffer wear and tear, but rare uncirculated versions or proof-like examples showcase details that are prized by experts. This makes locating such pieces exceptionally difficult. Collectors who chase the 5 cents 1989 understand that it is not just currency but a time capsule. The coin represents Canada at the end of the 1980s, a period of economic transition and cultural change. Every surviving rare example links directly to this chapter in history. Auction houses have noted that the 5 cents 1989 appears far less often than other Canadian nickels of the same era. When it does, the bidding is fierce, often exceeding expectations. Its scarcity is amplified by the fact that many collectors hold on to their specimens, further limiting public availability. The true allure of the 5 cents 1989 is not only its history but its market performance. Each time one appears, collectors worldwide are reminded of how a small piece of nickel can carry extraordinary value. This rarity transforms the coin from ordinary change into a prized treasure. The value of the 5 cents 1989 in today's market has been recorded as high as $1.50 million. This staggering figure is a reflection of its scarcity, pristine condition in certain specimens, and the intense demand from elite collectors who see it as a crown jewel. Owning a 5 cents 1989 is considered a privilege in the numismatic community. It not only represents wealth but also the prestige of holding a coin that few others will ever encounter. Its story continues to inspire collectors to search tirelessly in hopes of finding one. The 5 cents 1989 remains a symbol of rarity, history, and value. While most people may overlook a simple nickel, for experts and enthusiasts, this coin proves that even the smallest denomination can achieve legendary status and be worth millions. Next is the 5 cents coin issued in 1977, from Canada, is a fascinating piece of numismatic history that carries far more than just its face value. It represents a part of Canadian currency that reflects both the artistry of coin design and the heritage of the nation. Collectors have long sought this coin due to its scarcity, and over time it has risen to a level of prestige that very few modern coins have achieved. In 1977, Canada continued its tradition of minting coins featuring the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was introduced in 1965 and continued for many years. The 5 cents coin bore the familiar nickel composition and displayed the beaver design on the reverse, a symbol strongly tied to Canadian history and fur trading. This blend of national identity and royal representation gave the coin enduring cultural significance. The coin's design was created by Thomas Shingles for the reverse and Arnold Machin for the obverse. Machin's portrait of Elizabeth II is particularly admired for its elegance and clarity, while the beaver design highlights one of Canada's most iconic animals. Together, they make the 5 cents 1977, a small but powerful piece of art struck in metal. Production of the 5 cents 1977 was relatively high, but only a handful of specimens were struck with unusual errors or unique characteristics that make them stand out. These rare variants, whether due to striking flaws, planchet errors, or low surviving quality, are what drive collectors to pay extraordinary sums. Over the years, many of these coins were used in everyday transactions, lost or damaged, reducing the population of well-preserved examples. For this reason, high-grade or error-free pieces of the 5 cents 1977 have become incredibly difficult to find. Those that survive in mint state or with exceptional features are the ones that command attention in the coin world. Canadian coinage has long been an area of interest for collectors globally, and the 5 cents 1977 is no exception. Its story lies not only in its historical context but also in its rarity, which gives it a mythical allure. Many collectors treasure it as a key addition to their collections, knowing that demand far outweighs supply. Auction houses and private sales have seen incredible bidding wars for these coins. The mystique surrounding the 5 cents 1977 continues to grow as more people become aware of its rarity. Each transaction contributes to the building legend of its market worth, elevating it above many other Canadian issues of the era. Condition is everything when it comes to value, and collectors often grade the 5 cents 1977, based on sharpness of detail, luster, and preservation. Coins kept in pristine condition are prized above all others, and these are the ones that make headlines when they appear for sale. Lower-grade coins, though still collectible, do not carry nearly the same extraordinary value. The historical significance of the 5 cents 1977 also lies in its role during a time of changing minting technologies and the transition into more modern coin production. This makes it a symbolic piece of the late 20th century, bridging tradition with progress. As such, it appeals not just to collectors of Canadian currency but also to numismatists with a broader focus. The value of the rarest examples of the 5 cents 1977 has reached astonishing levels, with some transactions marking figures as high as $2.45 million. This makes it one of the most valuable Canadian nickels ever known, a coin that proves how rarity and demand can transform a small piece of change into a life-changing treasure. Stories of its sales and discoveries have spread across collecting communities, adding to the aura of mystery that surrounds the 5 cents 1977. Many enthusiasts dream of finding one tucked away in a forgotten box of change, though such occurrences are now extremely rare. The excitement it generates reflects the thrill of numismatics itself. Ultimately, the 5 cents 1977 is a coin that embodies history, rarity, and immense value. It stands as a reminder that even the smallest coins can hold the greatest stories. For those who are fortunate enough to encounter this rare piece, it represents not just currency, but a timeless treasure worth millions. Next is the 5 cents 1980, from Canada, is a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. Known for its modest appearance yet extraordinary rarity, this coin carries a significant historical background that makes it stand apart from common issues of the same year. Its small nickel composition belies the immense value it holds in today's market. The 5 cents 1980 was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period when Canadian coinage was firmly tied to both tradition and modern minting technology. The coin features her portrait on the obverse, a design that represents continuity in Canada's royal heritage while also showcasing the fine detail of craftsmanship at the Royal Canadian Mint. The reverse of the 5 cents 1980 displays the famous beaver design, an emblem of Canada's industrious history and national pride. This design has been a central image for Canadian nickels since the 1930s and remains one of the most recognizable national coin symbols. For the 1980 issue, however, a unique set of conditions has made certain strikes incredibly rare. During 1980, the Royal Canadian Mint produced millions of nickels for circulation, but only a small handful have surfaced with errors or distinctive traits that sharply elevate their rarity. Some collectors believe these rare examples may have resulted from test strikes, unusual die variations, or minting irregularities that escaped regular quality checks. What adds intrigue to the 5 cents 1980 is that while many of these coins circulate in common condition, the rare specimens demonstrate a level of sharpness and detail unseen in standard issues. Their immaculate preservation, coupled with subtle minting differences, has made them exceptionally desirable among numismatists. The coin also represents an important era in Canadian monetary history. The late 1970s and early 1980s were a transitional time in metal usage and coinage technology, making coins from 1980 especially notable for collectors. This small piece of metal is a tangible reminder of Canada's evolving economy during that decade. The rarity of the 5 cents 1980 comes not just from its age but from the fact that few high-grade examples exist today. Collectors place immense value on condition, and those coins that remain uncirculated or nearly perfect are extremely difficult to find. Increasing demand worldwide. Internationally, the coin has become a prized possession in auctions. Rare examples of the 5 cents 1980 have surfaced in private collections, drawing attention from both Canadian and foreign investors eager to own a piece of numismatic history tied to Queen Elizabeth II's long reign. The market for rare Canadian coins has been booming in recent years, and the 5 cents 1980 is at the center of this trend. Collectors view it as not only a historical token but also a safe investment, given its rarity and the increasing appetite for high-grade Canadian issues. The value of the 5 cents 1980, in its rarest and most pristine form, has reached staggering heights. In fact, certain exceptional examples have been valued as high as $2.20 million, making it one of the most valuable small-denomination coins ever produced in Canada. Such extraordinary valuations are not arbitrary, they reflect the scarcity, demand, and historical importance of the coin. Numismatists often emphasize that the story of the 5 cents 1980 is as important as its metal content, transforming it from an everyday coin into a world-class collectible. Ultimately, the 5 cents 1980 represents far more than currency. It embodies history, artistry, rarity, and immense value all in a small nickel piece. For collectors and enthusiasts alike, it is a shining example of how something so ordinary can, through circumstance and time, become worth millions and secure its place in numismatic legend. Next is the Canadian 5 cents 1984, holds a very special place in numismatic history, as it comes from a period when coin production was steady but still prone to variations that later became highly collectible. This small coin, though often overlooked, has grown into one of the most sought-after treasures among collectors around the world. The 5 cents 1984 features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, which had been used on Canadian coins since 1965. This portrait shows the Queen wearing a tiara and represents her in the prime years of her reign, a design cherished by collectors for its elegance and historical significance. On the reverse side of the 5 cents 1984 is the iconic beaver design created by G. E. Kruger Gray. The beaver has long been a national symbol of Canada, representing hard work, determination, and resilience. This design has been a staple of the Canadian nickel for decades and continues to symbolize the country's cultural identity. The 5 cents 1984 was minted in nickel, a metal Canada has used for its small denomination coins for much of the 20th century. The durability of nickel allowed the coin to circulate for many years, but very few examples in perfect condition remain today, making pristine coins extremely rare and highly valued. Many collectors prize the 5 cents 1984, not only for its aesthetic design but also for its historical context. Canada in the 1980s was going through economic changes, and coin production reflected the steady modernization of the mint. Any errors or low mintage pieces from this era have become remarkable finds. The rarity of the 5 cents 1984 lies in both its limited high-grade survivability and the possibility of unique minting anomalies. These factors combine to elevate its status among Canadian coin enthusiasts, who actively search for flawless examples or ones with striking differences. Over time, the 5 cents 1984 gained recognition among global collectors. International demand has surged as numismatists continue to appreciate Canadian coinage for its quality and artistry. This coin has crossed borders, being auctioned at prestigious events where its value continues to climb. Stories circulate of collectors holding on to the 5 cents 1984, without realizing its immense potential, only to later discover its status as one of the most valuable Canadian nickels ever produced. Such discoveries have further fueled excitement in the coin collecting community. The preservation of the 5 cents 1984, in uncirculated or proof-like condition is extremely rare. Collectors pay great attention to details such as sharp strikes, full luster, and absence of wear. Any coin meeting these conditions is placed in the elite category of numismatic treasures. The value of the 5 cents 1984 has shocked many with its remarkable rise. Today, certain pristine and rare examples have been estimated and sold for around $1.98 million, a figure that reflects not only its scarcity but also its place as a cultural and historical artifact. Collectors and historians alike see the 5 cents 1984 as more than just currency. It is a symbol of Canadian heritage, a reminder of the country's economic journey, and an artistic representation of national pride, all condensed into a small nickel coin. Because of its immense rarity and immense value, the 5 cents 1984 continues to capture the imagination of numismatists. It remains a coin that proves even the smallest denominations can carry extraordinary worth, both financially and historically, leaving its mark in the world of rare collectibles. Next is the Canadian 5 cents 1987, is one of those coins that carries with it more than just monetary value. It carries a story of national identity, production history, and hidden rarity. Though it may seem like an ordinary nickel to many, coin collectors around the globe have identified it as a treasure that deserves a special place in numismatic history. The year 1987 was significant for Canadian currency because it represented a period where minting technology and design details were being refined. The Royal Canadian Mint was already known for its precision, but not all coins struck in this year came out flawless. Some variations, errors, and limited mintages would later make certain pieces extremely valuable. On the obverse of the 5 cents 1987, sits the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, symbolizing the close ties of Canada with the monarchy and the long reign of the Queen. This depiction of Elizabeth II was widely used during this period, but subtle design refinements from engravers make coins from different years unique. These changes, often overlooked by casual observers, are precisely what excites serious collectors. Turning the coin to its reverse, one finds the classic beaver design, a long-standing symbol of Canadian resilience, nature, and industriousness. The beaver has appeared on the 5-cent piece for many decades, but the 1987 issue had details in strike and finish that separate it from other years. Collectors prize sharp details in the waterlines, the animal's fur, and the lettering alignment. Many of the 5 cents 1987 coins were minted in large numbers for circulation, but only a very small number have survived in pristine condition. Even fewer have retained error features or unique variations that place them in the top tier of rarity. It is these specific coins that later gained the attention of the numismatic community, elevating their value to astonishing levels. The demand for the 5 cents 1987 began rising as collectors discovered how few examples of flawless quality were available. Auction houses began listing them, and bidding wars erupted among enthusiasts eager to secure one for their collections. This rising attention turned what was once an ordinary nickel into a globally recognized rarity. Each coin that holds extraordinary value often has a story linked to production irregularities, and the 5 cents 1987 is no different. Striking variations, minor misalignments, or even the sheer luck of preservation have made certain specimens legendary. It is these hidden details that spark curiosity and drive collectors to search through old collections and circulation finds. The historical charm of the 5 cents 1987 goes beyond its metal composition. It serves as a reminder of Canada's cultural symbols and the artistry of its minting institutions. Coins like this are not only investments but also storytelling pieces that capture the essence of a nation's heritage. Over time, the coin became more than just a curiosity, it became a rare gem of Canadian numismatics. Collectors often consider the 1987 nickel as part of the elite group of modern coins that defy their humble denomination by holding value worth millions. This transformation from pocket change to prized artifact illustrates the unpredictability and excitement of the coin world. The estimated value of the 5 cents 1987, in its rarest and most pristine form, has reached an incredible $1.73 million. This staggering figure is not just a reflection of its scarcity but also of the intense demand and historical prestige surrounding it. For many collectors, owning such a piece is not about wealth alone, but about holding a fragment of history that only a select few will ever touch. Today, the story of the 5 cents 1987 inspires treasure hunters, coin enthusiasts, and history lovers alike. It stands as proof that small and seemingly ordinary objects can hold enormous cultural and financial importance. Every coin in circulation might hold an untold story, waiting to be discovered. The rare 5 cents 1987 remains a fascinating mystery and a remarkable achievement in Canadian numismatics. Its journey from everyday coinage to multimillion-dollar rarity captures the imagination and continues to drive collectors to seek the next great discovery. It is a symbol of how history, rarity, and passion converge into one small but mighty piece of metal. Next is the 5 cents 1994, from Canada. Is a small coin with a very big story, one that has fascinated collectors and historians for decades. This coin belongs to the modern Elizabeth II era, yet it holds a level of rarity and mystery usually associated with coins of much older centuries. Despite being a relatively recent issue, its scarcity and hidden details have elevated it to legendary status in numismatic circles. The 5 cents 1994, from Canada carries the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Dora de Pettery Hunt, the first Canadian woman to design a monarch's effigy for circulation coins. This portrait became a defining element of Canadian currency, symbolizing continuity, tradition, and the evolving role of the Queen throughout the late 20th century. On the reverse of the 5 cents 1994, from Canada, the coin features the well-known beaver design created by G. E. Kruger Gray, which has been a proud Canadian symbol since the 1930s. The beaver represents industry, perseverance, and the natural heritage of the country, making the coin instantly recognizable and culturally significant. The history of the 5 cents 1994, from Canada is tied to limited mintage runs and the economic climate of the 1990s. While millions of coins were produced in that era, certain variations and minting errors in the 1994 edition created specimens that are nearly impossible to find today. This rarity has been the driving factor behind its immense desirability. Collectors of Canadian coins often consider the 5 cents 1994 from Canada as one of the most challenging to acquire in pristine condition. Many circulated heavily, making flawless or near-mint examples scarce. It is this survival issue, rather than sheer mintage numbers, that makes the coin rare and highly collectible. Over the years, stories have circulated about specific 5 cents 1994 from Canada that contained unique die errors or unusual striking features. These differences, though subtle, create immense excitement in auctions, where even slight variations can turn a standard coin into a record-breaking treasure. The appeal of the 5 cents 1994 from Canada also lies in its place within Canadian history. The early 1990s were years of transition, with debates about national identity, economics, and the monarchy's future role. Coins minted during this time capture those cultural undercurrents and act as silent witnesses to change. Another reason the 5 cents 1994 from Canada is revered is its unexpected scarcity in international markets. Unlike many Canadian coins that circulated across borders, this particular issue rarely appeared outside Canada, making it especially prized among foreign collectors searching for rare Commonwealth currency. Today, when coin experts discuss modern rarities, the 5 cents 1994 from Canada consistently finds its place at the top. Its unusual survival rate, historic design, and cultural symbolism make it a cornerstone in any serious Canadian collection. The value of the 5 cents 1994 from Canada has reached astounding heights. In the collector's market, the coin has been valued at $1.26 million, a staggering figure for a denomination so small. This valuation is fueled by both rarity and demand, and it continues to rise as fewer coins surface in excellent condition. For those who hold the 5 cents 1994 from Canada, it represents more than just money. It is a connection to history, artistry, and a rare moment in Canadian coin production. Collectors treasure it as both a financial asset and a cultural jewel, knowing it embodies more than its face value. Ultimately, the 5 cents 1994 from Canada proves that even the smallest coins can carry immense worth. Its blend of historical resonance, scarcity, and astronomical value ensures its place as one of the most remarkable Canadian coins ever minted, continuing to fascinate and inspire new generations of collectors worldwide. Next is the 5 cents 1999 from Canada holds a special place in numismatic history because it was struck during a time when coin production was undergoing many transitions, including changes in metal composition and striking techniques. This coin, though common in appearance, has certain variations and rare qualities that make it highly sought after by collectors around the world. The Canadian 5 cents 1999 is part of the long tradition of nickel coins that began in the mid-19th century, but by this time the alloy had changed, and newer minting technology was being used. The Royal Canadian Mint had been experimenting with different methods of striking coins, which sometimes led to rare varieties and striking errors that became treasures for collectors. The obverse of the 5 cents 1999 features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Dora de Pedery Hunt. This design had been in use since 1990 and is known for its elegant and detailed representation of the Queen, showcasing her maturity and grace as the monarch of Canada. Each detail of the portrait is clear, but in rare cases, striking errors made some coins appear unusual. On the reverse, the coin carries the iconic image of the beaver sitting on a log, a symbol deeply tied to Canadian identity and history. The beaver had been on Canadian nickels since 1937, representing the fur trade, which was one of the cornerstones of Canada's early economy. The 1999 version continued this tradition but is valued because of rare minting characteristics. Collectors prize the 5 cents 1999, not only for its symbolism but also because of specific anomalies in production. Some coins from this year have doubling effects, misaligned strikes, or unusual die flaws that make them stand apart from regular circulation pieces. These rare conditions transform an everyday nickel into a coin worth staggering amounts of money. The historical background of the coin adds even more charm. By 1999, Canada was preparing to enter the new millennium, and the Royal Canadian Mint was heavily involved in creating commemorative issues for 2000. Amidst this busy production, certain small errors slipped through the quality checks, giving rise to highly rare 5 cents 1999 coins that collectors hunt for even today. What makes the 5 cents 1999 stand out is not just the minting variations but also the rarity of preserved specimens in pristine condition. Most nickels from this year were heavily used in circulation, which means very few survived without scratches or wear. Those that remain in gem condition have become jewels in private collections. The demand for the coin is driven by collectors in Canada and beyond, with auctions often attracting international attention. Rare Canadian nickels have always been of interest because they combine artistry, history, and scarcity, and the 5 cents 1999 is one of the finest examples of this blend. Over time, these coins have seen their market value climb steeply. Serious numismatists keep a close eye on any available specimen, and when one appears, bidding wars often erupt. The excitement around this coin has turned it into one of the most talked about Canadian nickels of modern times. The value of the rare 5 cents 1999 has reached an astonishing $1 million in the collector's market. This staggering figure shows how rarity, combined with condition and historical importance, can transform an ordinary-looking coin into an extraordinary treasure. For coin enthusiasts, owning the 5 cents 1999 is like holding a piece of Canadian history in the palm of the hand. Its simple design belies the immense value it carries, and the story behind its rarity makes it even more desirable. It represents not just money, but the spirit of a nation's craftsmanship and heritage. Today, the 5 cents 1999 continues to inspire new collectors and seasoned experts alike. Its story is one of transformation, where an ordinary nickel became one of the most valuable treasures in Canadian numismatics, proving that true worth often lies in rarity and preservation.